Who are this year's hidden gems in fantasy football that could change your season and possibly make you a league winner? We're going to dive in and find out. The concept behind breakouts and sleepers is to help you push you through the finish line and help you dominate your league and bring home a league championship. Today, we're going to identify some sleepers and breakouts from quarterback, running back, and wide receiver positions. But first, have you ever been sniped from that guy you were looking at grab in the late rounds that you thought was going to be a breakout? Well, my story is last year. I decided to wait till the last round to try to snag up Puka Nacua because I thought no one else was looking at him. Turns out he got sniped 2 picks before I came up. I ended up getting someone like Van Jefferson at that time, just throwing a dart and seeing who can hit. I really liked Puka just because he was rookie. Nobody's seen what he was doing, and he got sniped 2 picks before I picked. So that probably could have pushed me through the finish line and helped me win my league because I was decimated with injuries during the playoffs. So hopefully maybe that doesn't happen to you this season. So we're going to start out with the quarterback position. A couple of guys I love for breakouts this year. I like Jordan Love this year to break out. I think his strength of schedule really favors him going into the season, and he looked really good in the second half of last year. Not to mention, he's got such great weapons there that nobody can figure out who's going to be the number 1 receiver. I've got my thoughts on that. We'll talk about that later. But I really like Jordan Love to break out. I think he could be a top 5 quarterback in fantasy this year, even not being a running quarterback. Other breakout? I don't think it's really a breakout because he did it last year, but nobody's giving him the respect. Listen, I may be a little biased, but Brock Purdy, who finished as QB number 6 last year, is going in the 9th to the 8th round. Listen, Brock Purdy and that plethora of weapons he has there in San Francisco, even though he's not mobile, he can still sling it out there and be a huge fantasy asset for you and help you win your league. I think he could have even a bigger year this year with that contract situation looming. Man's going to want to get paid and maximize his earnings. So look for him to have a big year this season. Couple of sleepers I'm looking at. Will Levis of the Tennessee Titans. New offensive setup that really likes to throw the ball. Watching him in the preseason, I think the focal point is going to be throwing more short passes and kind of waiting to take his deep shot. He looked really good in this preseason game. Remains to be seen, but I like him as a sleeper because he could really tear off a new one with that arm strength and those weapons he has there in Tennessee. I like for Will Levis to have a good, solid season and hopefully be a sleeper that may get you there in the end and help you win your league. Another one, rookie, Jaden Daniels. Remember, running quarterbacks are always beloved in fantasy football, and Jaden Daniels, a young athletic guy who likes to run the ball, and probably is going to have to run a lot, running for his life there in Washington, could really rack up some points. Yeah, he's probably going to make a ton of mistakes. He's probably not going to be a top 5 quarterback, but he can be a serviceable quarterback in your league if you punt on the situation and wait till the later rounds to get a quarterback. He's my sleeper for as far as rookie quarterbacks go. I really like Jaden Daniels' situation there in Washington, especially he's got some weapons there that he can throw the ball to. Next, we're going to go to the running backs. The breakouts for running backs, my big guy is Isaiah Pacheco for the Kansas City Chiefs. I think he's poised to really make a breakout season and really solidify himself as one of the best backs in the league. I thought he was going to do it last year, but he got off to such a slow start that it kind of put him behind the 8 ball and he was playing catch up to the rest of the guys last season. Look for this offense to really hammer down with Isaiah Pacheco, especially with their lack of outside weapons and Travis Kelce getting a little bit older. I think Isaiah Pacheco has a big year, especially in the touchdowns. Next one, breakout, it's got to be Devon Achane. Now, if he can stay healthy, I think he has a chance at being a top 3 running back. Now, he is a small guy. I compare him more to a better version of Darren Sproles. If he can just stay healthy and that Miami offense, which is perfectly set up for him, he could have a huge year. This guy can take it to house every single play and could have a huge upside as far as big plays. And if your league has bonuses set up for long runs, look to draft Devon Achane in your league. Couple of sleeper guys that you could wait on, maybe grab in the later rounds. Gus Edwards of the Los Angeles Chargers. You know they're going to run the ball, and it looks like the Gus bus could be the guy that gets the scores. And that part of the draft, you're looking for touchdowns. Who are the guys they're going to give the ball to in the red zone? Gus Edwards looked to be one of those guys, especially for the Chargers. you could probably snag him up really late in your drafts and could be a solidified starter on your roster. Next, Tajay Spears. It looks like it's going to lean more towards Tony Pollard simply because they gave him the money. Listen, you always got to follow the money in fantasy football. They did pay Tony Pollard. He's probably going to get the majority of the carries. Now listen, if something happens, Tajay Spears is still going to be involved. And if something happens to Tony Pollard, he's going to be the full-fledged RB there. He could have a huge year and could be that guy you get really late in drafts that can help you win your league. Remember, that offense, I think they're going to throw to those running backs a lot more than people think. So grab yourself some Tajay Spears at the end of your drafts, and maybe he becomes that league winner you're looking for. Let me come up to the wide receivers. A couple of breakout receivers I have. Drake London, no surprise. Kirk Cousins is there in Atlanta, and Drake London has been a solid receiver, even for really bad quarterbacks, especially the last couple seasons. Look for Drake London to really make a name for himself this year, especially if Kirk Cousins can stay healthy. Drake London, going early in drafts, but I don't think he's going to be a problem. I think he's going to have a breakout year, and he's going to solidify where people are drafting him in ADP. Next one, I got Devontae Smith of the Philadelphia Eagles. It was a down year for him. I think this year's a bounce back. His targets weren't there. I think with a new OC, and maybe they change up that offense just a bit, I think you try to get Devontae Smith ball in space, especially being in his prime. I really like this guy to have a huge bounce back year. I think he gets the targets up to what it was the year before, and I think he's pretty much a solid 6 to 7 touchdown guy. If he can keep that up, look out for a breakout year from Devontae Smith coming into his prime with the Philadelphia Eagles. First sleeper I have is Jameson Williams. I know everybody's waiting for this guy to pop. Me included. I drafted him in Dynasty his rookie season. Now he's barred by injuries, and he got suspended. This is his first full-fledged opportunity to prove himself in this league. Being opposite Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think you'd see a lot of balls thrown Jameson Williams' way and see the playmaking ability that they drafted him in the first round for. Look for Jameson Williams to maybe make a statement this year, hopefully, but he could be a huge sleeper, and if he pans out, he's going to be a huge league winner for you this year. The other sleeper I have is Christian Watson, simply because, listen, Jordan Love, I told you, he has a favorable matchups on strength of schedule. Well, the receivers have the same strength of schedule set up for them. It's very, very likely that one of these guys is going to have a huge year, and I'm looking at Christian Watson to stay healthy this year. When he's on the field, Jordan Love loves to find him. Listen, I know everybody says Romeo Doubs, maybe Jaden Reed, but Christian Watson is a difference maker, and you've got to see what you've got in him if he can stay healthy for a full season. Look for Christian Watson. Sometimes he's even going on the last couple of rounds. Look for Christian Watson late in your drafts to see if he can turn out to be that home run hit you're looking for in your draft. Now, guys, give me some of your picks that are sleepers. Who do you like this year? Who have you been targeting in most of your drafts and looking to snag up as much as possible in each one of your leagues? Put a comment below, and I want to see how many people are thinking the same like me or thinking in a different aspect, and give me your reasons why. I'd love to have some feedback from you guys and talk to you guys about football in this year's draft. Now, remember to check out our draft prep show that we recorded. That's going to help you get ready for this year's draft, and hopefully you don't miss out on some of these key guys by optimizing your preparation. And guys, if you don't have time to watch these videos, please follow us along wherever you get your podcast. We also do an extra show on audio only to do a further breakdown and more in-depth with one of the Vegas guys and myself. So hopefully you can join us there in your car riding along, and we can help you get ready for this year's fantasy draft, or follow us along here on YouTube and watch all the video content we put out. Remember, we're always here to help you out with your fantasy football content and all other sports content that we have. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today, and I hope to see you in the next one.